It's like 12:30, so it's time for the quarantine update. Yeah, see, hear what I did there? That's actually from one of you guys. The comments have been really hilarious, guys. Quarantine, very funny. Anyways, um, when I started arm wrestling, a lot of people talked about hooking with me, like the different types of hooks. And one of the things that I heard a lot when I was coming up in the sport was the North American hook and the European hook. And not that that means that all the North Americans hook a certain way and all the Europeans hook a certain way, but when I was coming up, there seemed to be a prevailing style that was more common in North America versus Europe. And it's a path of entry into superior position, which is in the family of hooking in arm wrestling or inside arm wrestling. And so the North American hook really prioritizes wrist flexion as a way of entry into the hook. And you see me doing that kind of strength a lot with the thick spinning handles, like the Juji handle. This is really a North American traditional style of acquiring a hook using wrist flexion. And don't hold me to any of this stuff because, I mean, where this stuff comes from, who knows? The other, well, the European hook was traditionally thought of as being entered through supination. The truth is that both of these strengths are really important to having a great arm wrestling game. And that's the way I would prefer to think about arm wrestling, not even to define it as hooking or top. It's all arm wrestling, all of it. I mean, you need all these strengths to be a good arm wrestler. You need all these strengths to perform any technique well because everything's kind of integrated. I've personally had a little bit of a failing the last, well, almost close to a decade now of good solid elbow integrity. So a lot of my style in the past, 7 or 8 years has shifted heavily to a hand and wrist game, which is it's fine. But if you're a really solid and complete arm wrestler, you're not just using your hand, you're using your elbow joint a lot. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm doing kind of like a hook supination. People ask me a lot to do hook training 3, and believe me, if I could, I would. But it's not something I'm really working towards. And don't get me wrong, it really would be great to be able to do it. But strengths like this that I'm gonna show you now are, in my opinion, actually way more powerful. Like if I could continue to increase my numbers in this lift, I think it's actually way more powerful, way more accurate, and probably a whole lot safer too than the lifts that I used to do. These numbers aren't super impressive, but whatever. Save my glory for some other lift. So 115 plus 5, 120. Internal belt table. It's a great lift. It's the PR for 10 for me. So I take a lot of the stuff you see is through pronation, but this is a supinating drive, okay? So very simply, just like that, okay? Keep it all inside my body. And I still got more in the tank, but I'm working this one up slow. Yeah, force the hook. Woof. Right, cut that angle. Got that bone line. Bang. Nothing but good news after that. European hook.